Hey everybody, Step here for gathering information. I just wanted to show you another deck here that I have been drafting this time in War of the Spark. We went over a sealed that was doing well, and this time I've got a draft that's doing pretty well. So far 3-0, and since I've, doing that well, I thought we'd go over it. I think it's down to having some pretty good luck, but also this seems to have been a pretty good draft. So it's what you might call basically an aggro deck. I've got a lot of 2 and 3 drops, and then things to support the 2 and 3 drops. So 2 Martyr for the cause, a Pollen Bright Druid, 2 Snare Spinners, a Battlefield Promotion, a Steady Aim, Makeshift Battalion, 2 Rising Populace, Teo's Light Shield. Vivian's Grizzly is, I think, the worst creature in the deck, honestly, even though it's fine. Band Together, Jiang Yangu, Wildcrafter, Huatli, the Sun's Heart, Ironclad Crovad is also contender for the worst creature in the deck, although a 2/5 certainly can smash without much trouble of getting through. A Mowu, which is arguably the best creature in the deck, an Ajani Greathearted, which was my pack 2 pick 1, Enforcer Griffin for flying, Thundering Ceratok to get in those last few points of damage, Wanderer Strike ×2, that proliferate is just amazing, and Arlen, Voice of the Pack. Now, 6 mana Planeswalker, not exciting. Usually she just makes a 3/3, takes a bunch of damage, and then dies. But what I found is that she can kind of keep pressure off of Jiang Yangu, because they want to say, okay, we'll deal with her first so that they don't get the second wolf, and then we'll go and kill Jiang. Ajani is great for just plussing and gaining 3 life every turn, and then if you can protect him, because your creatures have vigilance, and look at all the creatures. So my usual form with this deck is I'll drop a 2-drop, drop a 3-drop, drop either Ajani or Mowu, and then if they kill Mowu with a removal spell, that's usually fine. Dropping a 3 and a 2-drop next turn, and if you can curve out, you just kind of smash. If you don't curve out, I've noticed that the deck is still can still recover with things like Battlefield Promotion and Band Together. You've got all sorts of ways to win combats. Wanderer Strike is of course great, because once Ajani puts 1 counter on your entire board, Wanderer Strike proliferates, Martyr of the Cause proliferates, and there's just too much going on for the opponent to pinpoint target something that's going to win them the game. Now, as you can see in the sideboard, I kind of started out, I thought maybe I'd be in blue a little bit, didn't know, wasn't sure, thought proliferate might be a thing. My first pick was actually this, because I wanted to try it out. I think it could have been good, but black dried up so quickly that I think I took this and then some green stuff and then this, and then the white was coming around, and I thought, alright, well, black's clearly not open, I guess I'll go green-white. So jumping out, I think that might have been 2nd or 3rd pick. So black and then white stuff. Yeah, that's it. And then I filled in with a green. And when I opened Ajani, it was just sort of obvious where I was going to go. Jiang Yangu is also great for putting a counter on something. It doesn't have to be Mowu. But then people in this format will attack your Planeswalkers. They'll just keep attacking your Planeswalkers, wanting to kill your Planeswalkers, while you're attacking their face and killing them. Mostly I've been ignoring my opponent's Planeswalkers unless they're the Mythics or the Rares, and sometimes you can pinpoint just get rid of something. Having a removal spell and then swinging at their planeswalkers is great. But most of the time I just try to win combats and then hit their face dead. So I guess that's all there really is to say. As I said, I'm 3-0 right now. And then the next deck I drafted, which I'm also 3-0 with, is completely different. So I decided to tag these two together. And the drafting process was actually fairly similar, where I thought I started out in one color, and then, actually, this was my first pick, believe it or not. I thought, okay, let's go for it. And then I took some kind of mediocre green stuff. I had a couple of things that seemed really good, but green really started to dry up. So I started just grabbing the red stuff that was coming around. And the deck, I thought, looked mediocre, but as it turned out, yeah, it's 3-0. So I don't know what to say about that. We're going to run through the deck, though. For creatures, I've got a Dreadmalkin, which I've drawn once and got immediately killed, so I don't know what that says about it. One Lazotep Reaver, I'd have liked a couple more. A Vampire Opportunist, which actually won me a game because we were flooding out, and like both me and my opponent, and you know, this just drains for 2 a turn. Goblin Assailant is completely mediocre. Spell Gorger Weird is quite good, and quite good in this deck. Iron Bully is, I think people are overvaluing this right now, but it's an include, so sure. A Charity Extractor to stop big threats and slow down their clock. Herald of the Dreadhorde for a 2-for-1 value. Dreadhorde Twins, again, 2-for-1 value. Goblin Assault Team, just as another body, and 4 power, usually trades with something and leaves a counter behind. 2 Turret Ogres to get some damage in. A Lazotep Behemoth, because I needed something big. A Chain Whip Cyclops, so there's a lot of big beaters on the top end. And for spells, we have a Spark Harvest. We have a Sorin's Thirst. We have a Pyrohelix and a Jaya's Greeting. We have an Ob Nixilis' Cruelty and a Widespread Brutality. So all of that is pretty prime removal. And then 2 Sarkhan's Catharsis. Being able to hit planeswalkers is highly relevant. Being an instant is also highly relevant. This is just better than Lava Axe. I want one in my red decks to finish them off. 2 is maybe, I don't know, 2 seems to be working for me. Like 2 of those is 10 damage. That's not nothing. I probably wouldn't be running 2 if I wasn't so light on playables. And a God Pharaoh statue to just really grind out the game. Grind out a win. Now, as for things I'm not running in this deck, Blast Zone, I thought about it. I probably should run it, but with the Sorin's Thirst being black on 2, and then having just really needing black into red, I didn't want to tamper with my mana. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe you want to let me know. I also thought about splashing Death Sprout or the Leyline Prowler, but splashing for removal or splashing for fixing is not where you want to do. Splashing for removal is usually fine. So I don't know. There's options. Like I could build a green build, and I'll show you that now. So this is the deck mostly in black-green with a little splash of red because honestly, like the Leyline Prowler lets you add mana of any color. 2 New Horizons, the only reason to run those is to splash something. And the 3 4-power creatures work for Kronk Wrangler, and this was something more like what I would probably splash than, say, maybe a Sarkhan's Catharsis. But Widespread Brutality is not splashable at double red, and really that's what I wanted to play in this deck. So while I started out in black-green, it felt like moving into red was more where I wanted to go. And this is the red-green version of the deck, which just wasn't really an option. I think there are 12 creatures, and it didn't seem like it would get the job done, even with splashing the Widespread Brutality. Like, these cards are not good unless you're really pushing your mana, and I didn't feel like I wanted to leave all of these good removal spells in the sideboard. So that's the deck. I'm 3-0 with it so far, and so far it's just been play removal spell, play a creature, get it removed, play a removal spell, up until someone gets something to stick, and it's usually been me. And with the God Pharaoh statue and the Charity Extractor to sort of stop whatever their threat is, and Widespread Brutality to be that last kind of... All of this removal is 1-for-1, and then if they drop a couple of things and I can 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 them, then that's great. Also, this doesn't deal with army tokens, so I don't feel bad about, say, using some premium removal on an army token. So that's my experience so far. 2 3-0 decks, and if you want to know how I finish, then check our stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and ask me, hey, how'd that draft go? Hey, how'd that sealed go? I did another one of these videos for sealed. That should be somewhere on your screen right now. And if you want more, do check out our stream, 3 p.m. Eastern. Check out the girl in real life on her stream. Check me out on my Game a Dayer channel. I play a different game every single day. And we hope to see you and talk to you in the stream any day that we're around. So hopefully this has been interesting. Let me know in the comments, and be sure to come back and check out what else we're doing on the channel when you get the chance. Thanks, everybody.